What is up, Broncos country? We have a show for you today. Let me tell you, the BUCKEM Crew has their very first guest today. I'm excited. I don't know about y'all, but it's exciting today. I'm your host, Fanatic Dak. We're going to be talking about Cortland Sutton getting his bag, and we're also going to be touching on training camp, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to get into, but we're going to have fun at the same time. And you know how we do around here, ladies and gentlemen, because if it ain't about the Broncos, buck them.
Okay, let's go.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Let me bring my other hosts, co-host on the stage real quick before we introduce our phenomenal guest that's been long awaited. We've been talking about this for quite some time. Kinley, how are you today, bro?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to the episode today. Looking forward to getting into it with you guys. And man, am I looking forward to this guest that we have on today.
Ooh, Jazz, what about you? You get all smiles. I see you. I see you.
Yeah. I'm also looking forward to speaking with the guests and just going through all the things, talking Broncos with you guys and the guest that's coming on soon. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. We will do that. I'm gonna get a drum roll. Oh, he's here. It is Ron White. Yeah. And the drum roll.
Right.
Two drum rolls.
The drum roll was excited
What's
too.
going
Ron.
on?
Welcome to our show. This is Ron White, contributor of Mile High Huddle and co-host of the Orange and Blue View podcast on Saturdays. Welcome. Give him a standing ovation, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Excited to be here. Thank you all for the invitation, and I am looking forward to talking everything Broncos. Looking forward to diving into Cortland Sutton contract, some training camp things we've learned. So let's get to it.
Yeah. So yesterday we got some big news. But first, I'm kind of curious as to maybe all the other viewers. What got you involved into covering these our beloved Denver Broncos, Ron? Would you share that with the class?
Yeah, so I'll get into kind of how I became a Broncos fan, and then get into how I started to cover for the Mile High Huddle. So I think it was doing the 1995 season. I was 9 or 10 years old, and just a little boy on the couch watching Sunday football, and this running back stuck out to me. Terrell Davis, TD. And I was just in awe with how he ran, like his running style. And I just felt as though every week, he got better and better and just ran for more yards. And I believe it was one game during his rookie season. I think it was at the Chargers. No, the Chargers were in Denver. And he had a total of like 176 yards, just running hard. And ever since then, I just started to follow during those Super Bowl years, and I was a fan. So he was one of my favorite players. Shannon Sharp was also another one of my favorite players as well. So those two players are kind of who I really followed, at least mid to late 90s. And then my favorite memory, I would say, of the team is the 100-yard interception from Champ Bailey.
Oh, against New England?
That 2005 AFC Divisional Playoff game.
Go.
Against TB12.
Because I'm pretty sure, as you all probably are as well, and most Broncos fans are, did not like New England, did not like Tom Brady. So just to have Bailey come and just pick it off in the end zone, I think he was throwing it to Benjamin Watson, and Champ Bailey came and picked it off and ran it back 100 yards in a divisional game. That was insane to see. So that's a good fond memory that I have of the Broncos. And how I became involved with content and podcasting. It happened about 4 years ago, when I started to just watch podcasts, oddly enough, on YouTube. And one of the podcasts that really intrigued me was the Mile High Huddle podcast. So some of you obviously may be familiar with Chad and Zach and some of those other folks. And I wanted to be more involved with content. Obviously, I had a love for the game. So what I wanted to do was started to write. And then we had that brief period where, I did submit some articles, making sure it was something I was really interested in doing. And then back in early 2022 was when I was coming on as a writer. Again, kind of following the news, everything happening with the team. And then they broached me as it pertains to wanting to podcast. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. Just because, I never thought of it. I didn't think I was the best speaker. And I was like, what do I say? What do I do? So they gave me a chance to think about it. And after about 48 hours, I decided to go ahead with it. And I've been on the Orange and Blue podcast ever since on Saturday nights. And it's been amazing to just Broncos country, guys, just in general.
Yeah.
It's such a great, awesome, fun-loving fan base. And you learn so much from one another, which I appreciate. Some of the questions that they ask, in some of these podcasts make you think. And I am so grateful that, they have my trusted knowledge, or as much as I can provide them with team insight and team perspective. So yeah, I would say it's been great so far. And again, happy to be here talking about the Broncos with you.
Let's go. I'm happy to have you. Speaking of fans, we already got somebody in the comments, Michael Ronquillo, who you're maybe familiar with the MHH. He says, "Good evening, Buckham Podcast." And then he also says, "Ron White with the canoe."
Good to see you, Ron.
Yeah. So and then we got another one. Broncos saved the NFL from 3 more Patriots.
Facts.
Tom Brady championships. Oh, and can I say something?
Sure.
Peyton Manning is my GOAT, bro, not Tom Brady. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I mean, I can see that argument. I mean,
That's
I think some would share that share with you as well.
Bias?
I love both. I just think what Tom Brady has done
is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. But yeah, Peyton Manning's right up there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, come on.
yeah.
Stop it,
Oh,
King.
yeah.
You know dang well, bro, if Peyton Manning had
the
the
goat.
same team,
Peyton's the
he'd be
goat.
getting them chips too, bro. You know
Peyton-
what? And
Peyton's
we
the
ain't talking lays.
You should have 3. You should have 3.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Peyton's the
Oh.
goat.
Agreed.
So, Cortland Sutton got his bag yesterday. 23 million annual average. I'm excited. I guess that's pretty damn good if you ask me. We know DK Metcalf he got 4 years, 132 million extension. So the $10 million difference in annual average, exciting. We get him at a good number. He's our wide receiver 1. I don't care if he is not y'all's wide receiver 1. Those of you who are all in the NFL, like he ain't wide receiver 1. I want your feedback and your thoughts on Cortland Sutton getting his bag.
Yeah. So deserving of this bag. And I thought that the Broncos waited too long for this. In my opinion, this should have been wrapped up around the draft time, right before the draft. But better late than never. And when you look at the details of the contract, guys, it's a very team-friendly deal. I mean, this works in the Broncos' favor. I mean, it's 92 million. So it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed 41 million, and the contract length is 4 years, but it's essentially a 2-year deal with the remaining 2 under team control.
Okay, yeah.
So throughout the 2029 season, if the Broncos will allow Sutton to be there, he can.
Right.
And it allows for other deals to get done. And I think it was expected that Sutton wasn't going to ever break the bank. Sutton is, you're right, our number one receiver, but he's not one of those elite receivers. So he's no Justin Jefferson, no Jamar Chase.
Right.
So obviously he wasn't going to command anything on an APY of that magnitude. But the APY of $23 million a year, given what he's done, I mean, the production over the past 2 seasons, I mean, speaks for itself.
Consistent.
And Bo loves him. So not only are you satisfying Courtland Sutton with the deal and the terms and that guaranteed money, Bo's happy that he's here, and I think the team is happy, and they did right by Courtland Sutton to make this happen.
Got to keep Bo happy.
I definitely agree.
Kinley, what you got?
I think Courtland did us a solid. I really think Courtland did us a solid. Like the organization did right by him, and he did right by us. We can now worry about Zach Allen's extension, Benito's extension, and so I think Courtland, the last 2 years, like you said, the numbers speak for himself. I mean, the guy had 20 contested catches. 20 contested catches. Like, yeah, he may not be the sexiest wide receiver one that everyone else knows, but he's our wide receiver one. He's a leader in the locker room. He's Bo's guy. He's a captain, and so you don't want to just get rid of him because, you don't want to pay him money, and it wasn't even north of $25 million a year. So I was ecstatic when I saw 23. I was like, I was hoping we'd get, like Ron said, it should have been done sooner, but better late than never. So I'm glad Court's here to stay. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, Jazz, what you thinking about that?
Yeah, you guys all hit it all right. We need Courtland Sutton. Bo needs Courtland Sutton. It's one of his favorite targets. It looks like he's going to have a new favorite target as well, but we can talk about that later. But Courtland definitely deserves this. He has been so clutch for us. Over the past, honestly, since he's been a Bronco, he's been so consistent. And even like when he had that injury, it was kind of shaky, but he bounced back. And, he's just been so dependable, especially in big moments on third downs. Man, like he's your guy. You can always depend on Courtland. And so happy for him. I didn't expect for him to break the bank either. He is the 18th highest paid wide receiver, which makes sense to me. And I do think that the Broncos, it was a steal for us. And I remember saying this to you both, Kinley, and I think it was Michael. Courtland is a team guy. So I believe from the beginning that he was going to accept something that was good for both himself and the team, because he just wants to be a Bronco. He wants to see the team improve, and whatever he can do to kind of make things better for the organization, I thought he was going to do it. So I'm really happy for him, and hopefully he's ecstatic with that contract. But yeah, it's definitely deserved. I mean, I have no complaints.
Yeah.
Good.
You want players that want to be Broncos, period.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a Bronco and their play has been stellar, pay them. That's the kind of organization we want to be seen at. So
exactly.
I love the owners. They did right by him, George Payton, Sean Payton, and all them. Like, I'm ready, man. I'm ready for the season. We're heading in the right direction.
And Ron, and just to real quick, Ron, the Broncos continue to take care of their own, bro. That's something that George Payton has always harped on since in his tenure. John Elway wasn't really like that, in that kind of state of mind. Cheers to them,
Yeah, agreed. And it's just, again, it's so exciting. And he can finish out his career as a Denver Bronco.
Yep.
Drafted by the team and can definitely finish out, possibly, be the all-time leader in maybe yards or receptions, depending on, how that lasts. So I just think, it's such a great moment for Courtland. And again, if you're trying to make some noise in the playoffs, you have to keep Bo's number one target.
Yeah.
Right.
Quick question for you guys. Do you think that we stalled on, or the organization stalled on his contract just to see what hit in the draft? Do you think that they always plan to extend him? Like, why the long wait?
I usually think, Jazz, the plan was always to extend him. I think, coming out of this past season, and I think there were talks even going on, ever since like earlier this year, like probably March. I think the plan was to always keep him. But when it comes to the contracts, it's always about the guaranteed money. That's always the rub. The guaranteed money and then the number of years on the contract. So I think they were trying to find a happy medium when it comes to that.
Without handcuffing themselves.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they have to look out, the Broncos have to look out for themselves, but also appease Cortland. So I think it really kind of boiled down to those two factors of kind of understanding what that guarantee was going to be like after this contract. Because again, he still has one more year on this deal.
This contract,
And then after that, what those guarantees look like in the next contract terms.
It definitely saves us from that wide receiver room aside from Cortland Sutton is unproven, and it gives you some time to kind of see what you have in that wide receiver room, so that's another thing that I took away from this signing.
I just think it's wild. Some are upset that we gave him a $9 million bonus. Like, guys, he was making $14 million this year. And you give him $9 million more, and you're upset.
I just don't understand, some of the fans like this. When you look at the detail, and I told people, wait till the details of the contract, are released. When you look at the terms and how it's broken down, it's not bad at all. It's actually in the Broncos' favor. And again, it's not like he's out here requesting what Terry McLaurin's requesting.
That's true.
More than
McLaurin's wanting north of maybe what Jetta's making.
Stop it.
And so I do think, and again, this when you look at this with the guarantees and again the ability to potentially get out of it after the first 2 years, it's really not a bad deal at all. I think it's one of the better deals, one of the best deals, most recent deals. From a receiver perspective,
it's going to be pennies on the deal if you look at it as the salary cap continues to rise, and the wide receiver they're paying a premium for some of these elite wide receivers.
And this is on track. And I think the Broncos thought about this, because the Panthers are very strategic, and Peyton. This is on track for when you have to pay Bo Nix.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah. It's chess. It's chess. Is what they're playing.
Not checker.
Yes. So, Bo Nix after, they'll probably approach Bo Nix if he is that guy, which I believe we think he is, probably
2 years from now.
2027, 2028. With an extension. At least those talks probably will start around that time. So I like kind of how those timelines are lining up.
Yeah.
That's very smart.
To get into the negative side of things, and then we'll get into all the other discussion that we have planned. But the inside linebacker position, as we've alluded to on this podcast and previous shows, is cause for concern because of the depth. And now you're running into Drew Sanders and a Alex Singleton that have sustained injuries, that you were relying on. Where do we rebound next? I would like the floor is yours, Ron. What do you think, man?
Yeah, the inside linebacker position, it's so volatile. Now, you have, and not to say you still don't have high hopes. I mean, obviously you bring in Dre Greenlaw, but again, he's a misstep away from getting injured himself. Knock on wood. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Now with Alex Singleton, Alex Singleton's injury is not as bad, just with the thumb. I think he already had the surgery, so he'll be out for a week. But he's had injuries in the past that have cause for concern. And now with Drew Sanders, you're starting to be concerned about depth. And so what you're hoping for, guys, is for, one of these undrafted free agents to step up. We've talked about JB Brown and Karene Reed. Hopefully they can pop in camp and in some of these preseason games. And you have to like what you have been seeing and hearing about Lavelle Bailey.
Yes, rising star in my opinion.
Yeah, and in the past few days, I know he's had several PPUs, and he's looked very good out there. I think those BPUs were on Lucas Kroll. So you know, we've always had, at least I've always had high hopes for LaVell Bailey. Just coming out of Fresno, it's, you know, he's always been good from a coverage perspective. You just worry about him in the run game.
Yeah.
And if he can shore that up, and again, he does have the opportunity now to do that with Alex Singleton out, with Drew Sanders out. You hope he can continue to stack up good days. But I still think that it would be wise if the Broncos can add some inside linebacker depth. You know, we have a few names out there. I know they've been floated around. Kaiser White, my favorite, Eric Kendricks. Hopefully they try to look into that, bring him in with the George Payton connection from the Vikings. But again, they need to start exploring some of those options, just because, again, the inside linebacker group, you just don't know. It's unpredictable.
And I like a Kaiser White because maybe he has that familiarity within a Vance Joseph defense, right? His time with Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that DJ connection too. Can't forget about that.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, yeah, I definitely think they should bring someone in just in case, especially with the injury histories. But LaVell Bailey, I mean, Ron, you spot on everything you said. You know, I'm hoping he takes that next step in defending the run. He's always been a good coverage linebacker. So, I mean, if he can do that, who says he can't start next to Greenlaw? You make Singleton the backup.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I look at it. You know, not putting all that on Singleton coming back from the ACL, and now he's got a thumb injury. He'll be wearing a cast, probably wrap it up and stuff like that. You know, it's kind of not a good sign, especially with someone who makes a lot of tackles but also misses a lot of tackles. Now you got a club on your hand. So I'm really hoping LaVell Bailey can take that next step, and you see something out of these undrafted guys, as long as you don't bring anyone else in. I mean, if you bring someone else in, you know, then it's not so much pressure on those UDFAs. But Sean Payton, this team is young, so it won't surprise me if he doesn't bring anyone in. Won't surprise me.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm very scared that an injury with that group is very bad for this team. And Dre Greenlaw, like, we know that he has talent. We know that he is who he is, right? But I would be okay with moving on from Alex Singleton. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I love Alex. He's great. The players love him. He's a locker room guy. But you know, if one of the younger guys steps up and, you know, they're able to take that position, and to your point, if he can play, if he's like a backup, or if we go out and get someone, I'm fine with that. I think that it's time to you know, see what else is out there. You know, from an injury standpoint, we can't have both of our guys being injury prone. That's just too risky, especially if we're talking about making a run. Yeah, we're going to need some depth there. And so I know that the team knows that. I'm just very curious to see which direction we go with it, because right now it's not looking too good from my perspective.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree. It's iffy.
Yeah.
So, like, now to touch on training camp, give me some of your risers, Ron, that you think.
Troy Franklin.
Oh my God! Oregon Ducks connection, baby.
Yeah, the Oregon Duck connection has been on a heater. And I think it's, you know, I just think it's a few things, a few factors that are playing into this. Low key, I do think part of it is the number change. That back to 11 hits a little different.
I've been saying the same thing.
Not the aura.
So it does hit a little bit different. But I just think he has that. I think he kind of has that epiphany or that aha moment that I belong.
Okay.
And I think with, you know, some of these rookies, they come in trying to figure out, you know, they don't know if they belong in the NFL. They don't know if they're that great. Well,
True.
You know, 4th round draft pick out of Oregon, Bulls, you know, old playmaker. I do think He does. And I think there's been, he and Bo's had some conversations, and I think with more reps, he's been looking real good as far as a lot of those deep passes. Because again, with Troy Franklin, he does a lot of things well. Quick at the line of scrimmage, even some of the intermediate throws, it's fine. It's just you wanted some of those deep balls to connect.
Right.
And you're seeing that now.
So many
you're seeing him be more aggressive, actually high jumping for the ball.
Yeah.
And so that's a good thing. That's very encouraging. Because you want, I'm not saying every receiver is going to pop, but I think out of the 3 newly drafted receivers, you want 2 out of the 3 to pop.
Yeah.
That's
so
fair.
That's encouraging. And then RJ Harvey. I think RJ is another riser. Just again, what he can do in between the tackles, and Sean Payton's presser today. He mentioned that there was a run. I think he was going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage, and he ended up going for like 15, 20 yards. So just to have, again, that running back with that vision, being able to make one cut and then bounce it the other way to go down the field and pick up extra yards, I think is just going to be a great thing for this offense. So I would say Franklin, yes, and Harvey would be my 2 risers on offense. And then I'll just, before you guys go, I'll do one on defense.
Okay.
Q Robinson on defense.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We know the reason why the Broncos drafted him was because of special teams. So that's going to be his primary role. But just his quickness off the line of scrimmage has been how he's able to go up and he was going to get a few sacks, I've heard, a few of these past camps. So just having, that ability to come in, giving Jonathan Cooper a rest. He'd come in certain packages, maybe with the Jonah Ellis. I think those would be my 3 risers, at least from what I've been seeing from the film at camp.
Yeah, I like that. Jazz, what about you?
Yeah, I was going to say we're just so set at the edge position. I feel so good about that depth there. Good job, Broncos staff, with that one. I would say the name that I keep hearing the most, and just watching clips of him, is Pat Bryant. It's just something about him where it's just, it's just something about him where, as a rookie, he's already knowing how to do things that they're not expecting him to do, like route running and things of that nature. So I think that he's going to be key for this offense. And I think that he and Bo are going to find a connection very quickly. It seems like it's not just with Bo, it's with even our backup quarterbacks as well. They're establishing connections. He's just a smart guy. And so I think that he's going to be a quick riser, and definitely excited to see him in preseason. And then also to Ron's point, RJ Harvey has to be, guys, like our run game, it has to take off this season. We cannot, have a repeat of last season. So RJ Harvey, also been hearing, great things about him. I heard about that jump cut too, Ron, where he just kind of like took off and, took off and went the defenders. And so those 2 guys, I think they're going to be the stars, or the rising stars, if you will. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like we keep talking about it, but I'm just ready for the season, because I just know that this offense is going to be a few notches better than what it was last season, which is great, and is what all I am expecting and what this team needs. So
yeah, I like it. Real quick, Jazz, to give you some flowers. I know this is a different player, but we touched on him. Michael Andrade comes in and says, Jazz was right about Troy Franklin taking the next step on the field. Yeah, so I know you've been pounding the table for that, so shout out to you, Jazz.
Yeah.
And Michael Ronquillo drops in again and says, give a shout out to wide receiver and special teamer Trent Sherfield Sr. He's getting some reps with the wide receiver room. Andrew Mason from 104.3 The Fan, Colorado Sports, said he's balling out.
Dang. He beat me. He beat me to it, because I was going to name him. He beat me to it. But since we're naming 2 risers, I didn't realize we were going to name 2. Y'all kind of put me on the spot here. But I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna go with one on offense and one on defense, and I'm gonna say Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram, like
That's my boy right there.
is looking deadly and lethal.
Yeah.
And reports in camp that him and Bo have connected. Just the chemistry feels like it's already there. So I just can't wait to see Evan Ingram in this offense. We finally have a tight end that when he catches the ball can do something dangerous. Can get that rack. And so, and the one on defense, I'm gonna say Riley Moss. A lot of people
sniper.
A lot of people wrote him off after that Bengals game, and just don't understand, coming off of the NCL sprain and your first assignment is T. Higgins. That's tough, but reports in camp saying that he's playing great. He looks like his old self, and that secondary is going to be deadly. That secondary is going to be deadly. So I'm ready. But Ron, I do have a question for you, and this may be a tough question. I don't know, but who do you feel is not having a good camp? As they should be having a good camp, or not. Who do you think? Who do you think?
I would say, I'll give an obvious answer, and then I'm going to give an answer that says I wouldn't say he's not having a good camp. I just think he's getting outshined by a few others. Audric Estime. Not now today. I think he showed some promise in today's camp. He had nice runs today, just because today the defense took over today. Bo can't really get passes off. I think more the emphasis was on the run game as well. So again, there were a few runs that I heard about that Estime, but I would say overall probably not the best showing. And that's not good, given, if you're trying to make this roster.
Right.
It's going to be a steep hill ahead for him. So probably not the best. And then a guy, Kinley, I think I told you I was high on him, and I still am. But again, I just think he's getting outshined. Devon Bailey. Again.
Ooh, nice.
I was waiting for it, Ron.
Devon Bailey's good.
I like Devon.
And but I think Jazz hit on it, that Pat Bryant, I think that's every quarterback's favorite target. He's getting outshined by Pat Bryant. Obviously, these plays from Troy Franklin have overshadowed him as well. But again, that's not to say he's not doing well, but I still expect good things from him. But I would say Estime would probably be the one that's, again, not having the best showing so far.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you guys for commenting. Iris Taylor comes in here. Proud mom moment right here. Go Broncos and go Jazzy. What insights?
Mom, go.
What's up, Iris Taylor? Thank you for joining
Love
us.
Love it.
And supporting her. You appreciate that. Another quick comment we got by Marco Ronquillo. Evan Ingram is looking like a fresh new tight end with the Broncos. He is.
Yeah, and this comment about Ingram, it's just so refreshing, guys, to have competency at the tight end position.
Yeah. Can I say something? Yeah.
And just how Sean Payton's going to use Evan Ingram cannot be understated. I mean, this player is going to be lining up all over the field and creating so many different mismatches. And it's just going to be so exciting to watch. And, you saw it, I think today and a few camps ago, where, that's the first read. We're trying to find where Ingram is, and I expect Ingram to lead this team in targets. He's going to lead this league and lead this team in receptions.
Yeah. To touch on that, Ron, we have 2,000 yard receivers this season. One being Evan Ingram, because of the volume I think that he gets within this offense. He's gonna have a career year. I kind of look back to the years of Jimmy Graham. He had almost 3 years of 1,000 yards in a row. So I could see something like that in terms going back to the volume for Evan Ingram, and then Sutton he's gonna get his go as well, you know. But that's just my take.
That's a bold take. It's a bold take.
Yeah,
but I like it. But I like it.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
Real quick. Right, exactly. Guys, like when I think about like this receiving room, it's really, it has a lot of potential, right?
Yeah.
Like I think we already have Cortland Sutton. He's who we know he is. He's great, right? And then you have like your, your Troy Franklins. There's been a whole bunch of conversations about, well, what if he hit, like he caught those passes that he dropped, those deep balls, right? So he has potential to be really good. Then we have Devon Vele, who I like a lot, and then now Pat Bryant and Trent Sheffield. There's like so many receivers that has talent to be great. It's I don't know. We might be kind of sick at receiving position.
Man,
I don't know. Like
Sean,
I know Sean is like licking his chops because he has a lot of different he has a lot of playmakers in that room, and so I'm excited to see what he does with it. So I don't know. I just had to get that off because it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
shout out to Sean Payton if you're watching this, sir. You were
Yeah.
right. I know a lot of people hate admitting that he was right, but you were right, bro. He's rolling with his guys. He all off season gave a vote of confidence within this for this wide receiver corps. So my high salute to you, sir.
Yeah, and Marvin Mims. Sorry, I just had to say Marvin too. So
Marvin Hims, yeah.
Mhm.
Ron, I have another question for you, buddy.
Sure.
What are your expectations for this team this year?
It's a great question, Kinley. I would say my expectations is I want to make a deep. I think they're going to make a mid to deep playoff run. At least 2 playoff games.
Yeah.
And getting to the AFC Championship. I think if that happens, then I would consider it, a good, successful season. Obviously, a step in the right direction. Because, Penner made it clear that, having that same outing like they did last season against Buffalo will not work, will not fly. So, they're expecting to win at least 1 playoff game. And I do have a good, solid record and a division winning Denver Broncos as well.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, division winning, 2 playoff games, AFC Championship berth. That's what I'm looking at.
Can I ask you this, Ron?
Sure.
Hear me out, bro. Here's a interesting dilemma or whatever scenario. Let me go with the Broncos don't win the division. Check this out. They don't win the division. However, they're 11-6 for whatever reason. They lose the division by 1 game, but they end up in the AFC Championship game. Would you take that, or would you rather win the division and be out 1 and done in the playoffs?
I mean, if we get to the AFC Championship game, I think that goal. I mean, that was my goal, and if they get there, regardless of how they get there, I still think it's a successful season.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just really depends on obviously the matchup in that AFC Championship game. But with this defense, anything's possible. Again, I just don't think people understand how solid, how elite this defense is going to be. The defensive line, Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper, Dre Greenlaw, if healthy. And then, in my mind, these 3 corners are elite as well. Obviously, we'll see what happens with Jahdae Barron. I have the utmost faith in him.
Yeah.
But I do think, Texas Hook'em, yeah. Yeah, but I do think that with this defense, and if they can run the ball, I think those are the 2 things you need to make a deep playoff run.
Exactly. That's the formula.
That's the formula. And with J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, and this defense, I think everything's set up for that to happen.
Real quick, we got Peyton Winbush in the house. Shout out to Kinley, you the best. Go Broncos Nation.
He's a
I
Dolphins.
salute you. Thank you, Peyton Winbush, for dropping in. Oh, and then Michael Ronquillo with the hot take: Super Bowl or bust. Ooh, that is a hot take. It's spicy.
I like it, Ron. I like it.
I like it.
Ron, I have a fun light question for you, just to pick your brain. So who do you feel has more talent? A healthy Dre Greenlaw or PS2?
Oh,
Ooh, that's a tough.
Damn.
That's
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's like one of the best questions I've heard.
That's a
Jack.
good one, Jack.
That's a good one.
Let's give her a standing ovation, ladies and
Wow.
gentlemen. Let's give her a clap. That was amazing.
Ooh, this is
He's
tough.
stumped. He's stumped right now.
Choose wisely, sir. Who's part of the 99 Club?
I'm just kidding.
So who has the best? You said the best talent, like who's more talented?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Patrick Surtain. As much as I love Dre
POY,
Greenlaw,
baby.
I just think not only with the Defensive Player of the Year campaign, but just how you watch players and how you listen to players talk about Patrick Surtain.
Who's trolling?
I think. Oh, who's someone's trolling? Players have the utmost respect for Patrick Surtain, Jazz, and they comment a lot on his technique. I think he has some of the cleanest technique in the game.
Yeah.
And I think there's a video floating around. I think Chad Ochocinco had like a little camp or something, and Cortland was there, Jerry Jeudy, Jamar Chase, and they were just trying to figure out, like, you know, how do they move against them? And Cortland and Jerry and Jamar said, you just really can't.
You can't.
You can't do it just because of the technique and how he's able to just jam them up, you know, at the line of scrimmage, and just how he can, with the press man technique, and how he can just bat passes down without holding, because we know Sauce has a tendency to hold. Surtain doesn't. And so how he can just lock it up, and what he's asked to do as far as taking each team's number one receiver, game in, game out. I just think that's it over Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah, I agree with that. As much as I love Greenlaw, PS2 is a different.
He's built different, man.
Different animal.
But that's a great question.
That's a great question, Jazz.
That's a good question, Jazz. Hell yeah.
Wanted to make it fun for you guys.
I think people also don't understand how good Dre Greenlaw is.
Oh yeah.
If you don't know a healthy Dre Greenlaw, man. Whew.
Top 2 linebacker in the league, right? Actually, my opinion, again, right after Fred Warner, he's the best. When healthy.
Shine said he's like Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, yeah.
I like that. That was a good one.
That's a good one.
Great question.
George Montoya in the house. What's up, bro? My other Broncos.
George.
Part of Buckham. Imagine things he's teaching your young DBs. His presence in that room is going to be a huge factor in those young guys taking the next step quickly. Jade Barron is going to be learning from one of the best, man.
And Jorge, you bring up a good point, Jorge, because that was, the first thing I thought of when Jade Barron was drafted by Denver. I was like, he has the best in the game teaching him. Yeah. Again, for me, Jade Barron, if we're, depending on how we're viewing Travis Hunter. So if you're doing Travis Hunter as a corner, I had Jade Barron right after him coming out of the draft.
I'm right there with you, Ron. That's dude.
And so to have, top 2 corner in the draft being drafted by Denver with the Defensive Player of the Year corner, I mean, he can just, like I said, call, text, pull him to the side at training camp to get tips. I just think that's going to help. Again, not just Jade, but Chris Abrams-Drain, helping Riley Moss.
Yeah.
There are a lot. There are a lot. Even J-Mac. So PS2 is just the level of respect that he's garnered in this short period of time that he's been in the league is just unbelievable. So
that's phenomenal to have. And I mean, Jade Barron was a blue chip prospect. I seen him mocked as high as 7 and wasn't leaving 13 to the Dolphins. I always saw him mock to. So
Yeah.
to get him at 20, 21, 20,
20.
sorry. Yeah, like that is yes, run that shit up to the podium. And I know Omarion Hampton was still there on the board. Might have rubbed folks the wrong way, but I mean, we were 19th in pass defense, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Football Reference, and you saw us kind of take a step back in the passing game towards the end of the season. We were 1-8 against winning teams, right, Ron? If I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So I want to see this team is still unproven. We haven't done anything yet. Still, I mean, we got to the playoffs, but I want to see more from this team and this defense specifically. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
Oh, George Montoya comes in again. He says, "Dude, Ron White, what a guess! Hats off to you, sir."
Mile high salute. Thank you, Jorge.
And you can check him out sometimes on Broncos Bros with me on Monday nights at
Nice.
7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Just saying, sorry, Kinley. I had to. He's like, "You're doing this on my show, sir."
Oh boy.
I let it slide.
Ooh, bring on the Eagles. All right, Michael.
Yeah, yes.
You sure you're ready for that
You're
one?
feeling yourself. You're feeling yourself, Michael.
I will say though, Michael, to that point, that's going to be a closer game. Yep, week 5 is going to be a closer game than what people think. I do think that the Broncos match up very well with the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, again, if healthy, this linebacker crew with the defensive line can clog up the middle, stack the box, because you have to do that against number 26.
Yes.
And then if they play man-to-man, obviously with Barron or Moss on Devontae, obviously you'll have PS2 on AJ Brown. I do think, you know, this team could definitely beat the Eagles. Now, again, the Broncos have to play turnover-free football.
Right. Perfect.
Because Vic Fangio's defense, it ain't no joke.
Right.
You saw what they did against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So I do think they have to be on their best behavior when it comes to that game, but I can see the Broncos winning it. I do have that as one of my losses, though, just because the Eagles roster and what they do on defense and some of the stuff that Fangio can throw at Bo Nix may be a little challenging.
Yeah.
But be a good game, though.
I have that.
Mike, you bring up a good point, but we know Howie Roseman, they draft well.
Yeah, dude, they got
Jahad Campbell and Andrew Makuba.
Yeah, dude, they're no joke. So the rich continue to get richer, bro. Like, I mean, this is where we're at with Howie Roseman and the Eagles organization.
I will say that, like, if we end up winning that game, I think that changes the narrative of the Broncos, right? I think that we go from maybe we think that they're going to be a playoff team to, okay, this team is good.
And they're going to be a problem. So if we can win that game, I think that we're taken very seriously to get to the next step. And then
I'm not a believer.
I think we may be talking Super Bowl then, right?
Bring them.
So yeah,
I'm excited, man. Damn, I'm so excited. I think we're in a championship window going into this season, honestly, with the pieces we added, the suffocating defense, the upgrades we've made to the running back room. The sky's the limit for this team. Sean Payton on numerous occasions spoke of a good defense and a solid running game helps a young quarterback out. And Bo Nix taking that step now. Show me the dub. Show me the ring.
I do have a question, guys, for you. If the Broncos were to keep 4 running backs, who do you think that 4th RB is going to be?
Okay. Jazz, you want to go first?
I think it's going to be Jaleel McLaughlin. Like, I think he would be the 4th. So here's who I have. I do think Estime is going to be RB3. And McLaughlin after that.
Okay.
Ooh.
So obviously Dobbins and Harvey's like a dub, right?
I think Estime, they're still trying to make things work with him. And I don't think that Sean has thrown in the towel just yet. So I do think he makes the roster. But I know that Sean Payton loves McLaughlin, and I think that he makes it. So yeah, that's who I have as my 4.
Okay.
Kinley, what do you got, bro?
Well, that's the core 4 that you're thinking of. You know, you're thinking of RJ, JK, McLaughlin, and Estime. I'm gonna be a little different though. I'm gonna be a little different, and just the fact that Garrett Bowles mentioned him at the podium the other day, and he said Bidet. You know, he mentioned Bidet, and I definitely think that, you know, we also can't forget about him. Sean Payton went with Bidet over Estime in a playoff game. So I'm gonna say Bidet gets that 4th spot, and Estime is on that bubble as the odd man out.
I got something for y'all, and you can be shocked as you want. It's a dark horse, dark Bronco, we can call it, that makes this roster and running back rooms that we haven't really talked about. So I got J.K. Dobbins, I got J.K. Harvey, R.J. Harvey. All those letters, alphabet just gets me twisted. Look at that. R.J. Harvey. I think McLaughlin ends up on this roster, and Blake Watson.
I knew it.
Oh, you knew it.
Blake Watson. I do.
I whispered and I said Blake Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what you think, Ron, but I like Blake Watson. I mean, I know he had some fumble issues, but so did Estime. But you get a little more dynamic with what you can do with Blake Watson, in my opinion, in that offense.
Yeah, and I'm a big Blake Watson fan as well. I wish we were to see more of him last year. I mean, you know, in that last Chargers matchup, you know, he was running the ball quite well.
Yeah, see it.
So you know, you wanted to see more of him. I don't think, unfortunately, I think it's, you know, he doesn't make the team. I would love for him to, Fanatic, but I think, you know, he was out, I think, quite a bit with nursing an injury. And he is kind of a little bit behind. So I don't think he makes
behind the 8 ball, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, pecking order, obviously, yeah. J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey. I think Jaleel is your 3, RB3. And then I want Bidet to be the 4th, but I don't think they're going to give up on Estime.
Probably not.
Just because you know, with that draft status, they want to see what else is there, and you know, there was a planned vision for him.
Yeah.
To be that bruiser. And you know, I think, you know, had it not be for the fumble issues, we talk about him in a different light, and the pass protection issues as well.
And to touch on your point, Ron, real quick, is like with the Estime, he's in his rookie contract, but we only signed J.K. Dobbins for a 1-year deal. So does that give him room to grow this season?
Possibly.
And move off Dobbins is another food for thought kind of thing, you know, that
he would have to. He wouldn't have another season after this.
And you wouldn't have, because they're going to probably look in the draft.
Yeah.
2026, because you know Jeremiah Love is probably might be sitting right there when they pick from Notre Dame.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That'd be a great selection.
And so yeah, he has to put up or shut up. I mean,
or Kenyon Sadiq.
Kenyon Sadiq. Eli Stowers out of Vandy as well. It's a nice prospect.
Oh yeah,
I'm a big Sadiq fan too.
My guy. Yeah, I'm an Oregon Duck, so I'm a homer at that, man. Kinley, you got no.
I got nothing to say to that. Nothing to say to that.
So yeah, Michael Ronquillo. Michael Burton is making the 53-man roster. Nate Atkins, tight end fullback.
Lord, me and Ron can talk about this for an hour. Legit, like
I like
Ron. Atkins. Go ahead, Ron. I'll give you the floor on that one because you know what we've already discussed about that.
Yeah, Ronk. I don't know, because I think last year, I gotta go, if memory serves me correctly, Atkins did make the team as the fullback. So, and I know they brought in Burton, you know, they had that where they can have those 3 elevations off the practice squad, and that's how Burton was used. So it may be a similar approach this season, Ronk. I don't know if Burton is a shoo-in to make the 53, given on kind of the vision for Atkins. Because at tight end, I mean, they may keep what 3. I have obviously
Kroll.
Evan Ingram.
No.
I
Troutman.
have no. I don't Kroll. I don't have Kroll making it.
Mm,
I have Evan Ingram. I have Adam Troutman, and I
yeah.
actually have Caleb Lohner making.
Yes,
the
me
Broncos.
too. And we've heard
that's
some noise
right.
about him.
Right. And
Yesterday.
because the reason I say that is because I think there may be fear that some other team, he may not pass through waivers and some other team may snatch him
He
up.
won't.
Because I've heard that in the draft, there were a few other teams that were mad that the Broncos picked him up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's another player they're salty about.
Yeah. They were mad at that pick. There were a few teams that were eyeing him.
George is all, yes, Loner. He
and
loves Loner
the
too.
early signings in camp from Loner have been pretty positive. I mean, he's a smooth runner. Can catch it in the middle
Body
of the field.
control's amazing.
Body control's good. So I do have him making this team. Now, obviously, he's a 7th round pick, so he needs to develop.
Yeah.
But I mean, the early sightings are that he can come in and be, a valuable weapon, especially in the red zone.
Yeah.
You can just use that size. Yeah, using that size, that 6'8" frame that just box out defenders. Yeah, so
I'm excited. Can he have an impact kind of like Devon Bailey, surprised us last season? We'll find out, Not like not like a impact like Bailey because the situation's different, but can he be a surprise is what I'm alluding to. Like out of Utah, the Broncos love their Utah guys, it seems like. University of Utah in Denver. So yeah. This was a lot of fun. We got into some good stuff. Thank you so much, Ron. You gave us a lot of great insight. You have anything else you want to touch on or anything you want to get off your chest? Bold predictions before I let you off the set. I got to get a good bold prediction from you, sir.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions, Fanatic, for you guys. Like, what is your, from a stats perspective, for Bo Chapman Knicks? What is your bold prediction as far as yards, touchdowns? Like, what are you guys thinking? And would it be enough for him to at least be in the MVP conversation?
Jazz, you want to go first or ladies first?
Ladies first.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
the MVP. I'm gonna have to say not yet. But I do think he improves from last season. I have him for 4,000 plus passing yards and
34, 35 touchdowns.
Okay,
that's solid.
So I think that's a good step in the right direction.
So, but MVP, I don't know, some ballers out there, so we'll see.
Yeah. But are they Bo Nix type of ballers, ladies and gentlemen? I'm just kidding. Kinley, give yours. I'm going to go last.
I also agree with you, Jazz. He throws for over 4,000 yards. I will say he gets 40 total touchdowns, though. 35 passing and 5 rushing. Because you know how they like to, if they get stopped, if they're at the 1, you know how, Sean Payton likes to do the whole Drew Brees over the goal line.
Over the goal line. Yeah.
So I say he gets 40 total touchdowns, and I think that also puts him in the MVP. That's my bold take. I think it gets him into discussion. And I say he throws 8 interceptions.
Wrong Michael comes
in. Wrong. 45.
Wrong.
45. That is bold.
Winning MVP with that.
Super bold.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's MVP right there.
Yeah, that's
that
MVP.
Is MVP.
Yeah,
I just guess because we expect the running game.
Y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Damn.
Yeah. We expect the running game to be better, which is why I'm kind of like not giving him so many touchdowns, right? But anyways.
So Kinley, you fancy, huh? You had to throw in the total touchdowns. You couldn't just be basic, my basic kind of guy. You had to be fancy.
I like that.
Anyways, miss me with the Here's my thing. 38 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 4,000 yards.
13.
He had 12 last year in his rookie year, bro. But I think he's going to be throwing the ball a lot.
Must I tell you that one was on a Hail Mary, 2 tipped off of the receiver's hands.
Yeah.
you know what, dude? We can't. I mean, I can't have to follow all the way he gets his damn interceptions. I'm just saying 13. That wasn't the question. It said what was my prediction, not how he gets the interceptions.
My bad.
Did you list your interceptions? I think you missed that part. Did you? 8? You said 8.
I said 8.
Yeah, you said 8.
I missed mine.
What's yours, Jazz?
Yeah, I say he doesn't throw as many as he did last season, so I'll give him 10.
Okay. And here's one thing too, Ron, real quick. I think the Broncos are a little more aggressive downfield. Sometimes that might lead to a little bit more interceptions. You know, just my thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you heard me, Kinley.
All right, last but not least, Ron, let's hear it.
Ron.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I have about 4,100 yards.
I like it.
38 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and that does at least have him in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, in the conversation.
Probably like top 5 or so, like in MVP voting.
Damn. Yeah, that's good, man. I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
My high salute to you, bro. That's good. I love it. Jeez, we're up for an exciting season, you guys.
Yep.
Very exciting season. And I have this Broncos team going 13-4, I think, which is fair for this ceiling in terms of record prediction. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm so optimistic. The quarterback carousel is broken. It's crunched up. They got disintegrated. It's over there at the dump somewhere. You know, we don't have to worry about this BS anymore. I'm excited.
Thank goodness.
Yep.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts, Jazz, Kinley, Ron, before we head on out for tonight?
I just gotta say, Ron, we appreciate you for being the
Yes.
first guest
Thank
on the
you so
show.
much.
We appreciate you for coming. We enjoyed this episode. We loved it, and looking forward to the season. And go Broncos!
Go Broncos! Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much again, Ron. And you know how we do. If it ain't about the Broncos,
Buck 'em.
Buck 'em.
Buck 'em.